Hi, I'm Sam Griffin. I'm the author of the book, REBOOT. And I'm sitting here on my patio and I'm thinking about how I got to the place that I am in my life that has allowed me to be here presently. You know, I think about, the movie The Bodyguard. Now, I speak about that movie a lot because that movie took my mind to a place that allowed me to escape momentarily what was going on in my life. And as you can hear in the background, I live in a neighborhood where they have a reserve for birds, and please enjoy the background music as I continue to speak. But these moments where I watched this movie allowed me to escape and divert my attention from the present moment to a moment where I could dream. It didn't stop there. When I would go to school in high school, instead of going to get lunch at the cafeteria, I went off to the library and I studied how to become a police officer, how to become a Secret Service agent, and the salaries that each of those positions paid. And no matter how much I did my research, I kept going back to protection. What made it so important to me that I wanted to protect people? And I came up with this. Could it possibly be the fact that I'm watching my father abuse my mother since I can recall being a child? Could it be the fact that I have to watch my brother and sister watch and cry in agony as they, along with me, watch the abuse of our mother, both mentally and emotionally? I wanted a career that I could not only keep people safe, but to keep my mother safe. And that safety started when she did get a divorce, which in many homes that may be called the breaking up of a family. But in my case, it was celebration time. Mom, Dad got a divorce. Boy, was I on cloud nine. But there was peace. Peace allowed me to dream even more. I could see that I had now a reality to my life, that my mom was bold enough to take a chance and be alone and to raise 3 children by herself. And I definitely was going to do my part. It started with simply working as a busboy for many years. And after working as a busboy, I finally switched over to working security for a college. One particular event I was working, and wouldn't you know it, Reverend Al Sharpton walks in. Everybody's running to Reverend Al Sharpton, and I'm like, who's that big guy standing beside him? It was his executive assistant, Mr. Carl Redding. And instead of going to Reverend Al Sharpton, I went to Mr. Carl Redding. We exchanged phone numbers, and the endless texting to each other began. And in about a year and a half, he was able to get me a job interview with a very famous individual. And after the job interview, I had to wait a whole year for a callback. 1 whole year of making sure that I surrounded myself with positive people, like-minded people who wanted something out of their lives, they wanted a career, waiting and praying and hoping that that phone call would come, not knowing when, but it would come, and it did. and I was ready. I was told to pack for a day and we would be on our way. So I went to Washington, D.C. I hopped on a private jet with the Reverend Jesse Jackson, and off we went to Des Moines, Iowa. I had no idea that it was going to be like -5 degrees, and I only had a regular suit. I was wondering why this man was carrying this big, heavy coat. Well, that answered the question when we stepped off the jet. But needless to say, we made our way to the hotel, and on my first day of work, I get a call from the state police. The KKK just called and said, tonight is judgment night. So I started to get flashes of Martin Luther King. I get flashes of all of these Black strong men that we've lost throughout the years through assassinations. So I got on my knees and I prayed. I said, dear Lord, please grant us passage, safe passage. Then I used common sense. I extended the perimeter. I had more officers assigned to us. And we did not do the rope line where people normally stand there at the rope and shake your client's hand. Also, the trip ended up being more than just a day. It ended up being a whole week. So I had to learn survival skills. What do you do when you're on the road and you have to be out there for about a week longer than anticipated? You learn to survive. You learn to adapt. Well, those moments in my life created that position for me, and I was allowed to work that job because it was offered to me after surviving the non-assassination of my client, to make it home, where I signed a contract for so many years to stay with my client. And boy, was it a blessing. Dreams do not happen overnight. Opportunities of a lifetime come sometimes just once. Seize the moment when it comes. Be ready for that opportunity when it comes, because it may not come again. Today's decisions affect my tomorrows as well as yours. By making the right decisions in my life and being prepared for my opportunity allotted me to come full circle, where now I can sit back as a business owner, as a father, as a husband, happily married, and tell you the impossible is possible. Just take it one day at a time, and whatever you do, don't give up.